So, going back to your Instagram page, there was it wasn't a video actually, it was a picture. And I imagine that this got a lot of traction, a lot of engagement because it touched us at the Goodman factory as well. And this was a post that you posted of your son's stepdad. Yeah, going to a football game. So do you want to, let our listeners know a bit more about that particular experience in that post?
All right, guys, wait, hold up. So we looked at the analytics and apparently 25% of you who watch this podcast are not subscribed. Now, that doesn't make sense because if you're watching this podcast, then you clearly like it and you clearly want more. So the best way to get more is to subscribe. And guess what? Even do another thing, subscribe. Hit that little bell button and put the notifications on. So when we post this exquisite content, right, you'll get it directly in your notifications. So subscribe right now. Thank you.
So his name's Bradley. Let me just big up Bradley for one. Like, really, to me, like, I really rate him. Nice guy. I'll tell you the story. So my son's mum must have got with him when my son was about maybe 3. And he was around my son quite quickly. Yeah. And when I found out about that, I was tense because it's like, I guess to all of us, we have an idea of when is appropriate. Like, oh, it needs to be 6 months. It needs to be 9 months. Oh, it's been a year. It's okay now. And it hadn't been that length of time. Not that now looking back on that doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
Like the time frame, we can get to that, but to me, it doesn't really matter. It's how well you know the person. And I was kind of like, Rare, why has he been around him so early? Why this, why that? Bare resistance. And she was going to bring him to my yard to collect Tyler. Yeah. So there was pretty much a phone call, like, and this is where I'm honest. She might hear this and be pissed that I'm saying it, but I'll be honest. Like, so there was a phone call one day, and it was like, you know what? I'm with someone now, and they're gonna be with me when I come and collect Tyler. I was like, no, they're not. Yeah, they're not. Let's not do that. They're not, because I respect it's your relationship, but because it's so new, I don't know if this is gonna last, and I don't want that person knowing where I live. Yeah, that to me is it's a private thing. We don't need to get there right now. So he never came. They carried on doing what they were doing, and then it must have been after about 5 months. They even moved in quite quickly, but it got to a point where he was around a lot of the time, staying over a lot of the time, and his mum had to go somewhere, so he took my son to football because he stayed over. He was kind of living there. So she was like, yeah, you're going to have to go and collect him from football, but Bradley's going to be there with him. So I was like, okay. I go in there, didn't know what this guy looked like never seen a picture or anything. I go in there and I kind of sussed him out because everyone was quite old there, young guy, bald head, looked like me. Yeah. So I was like, oh, she's got a taste, innit? She's got a taste.
Got a type.
Okay, so I walk over to him. My heart was beating.
Just to I don't want to stop you, not mean to cut you off there, sir, but I was going to say, did you mentally have to prepare yourself before you
Bro,
got to
I'm
that
talking to myself in the
point?
car. I'm talking to myself in the car. I'm like, you know what? Like, this is what you got to say. You know what? Make sure you kind of got a certain stance in it. You can't have this man think like, yeah, you can't go in there timid. You can't go in there timid. Make sure the handshake is firm. Like certain things that you're just overthinking it. Yeah. And then I get in there and he's sitting down, got a Man United top on. I'm like, dickhead. I'm like, dickhead.
That would have been me, but I can't lie. I would have tackled him, I can't lie. Oh man.
So I walk over to him, he's sitting down, and I think I might have tapped him on the shoulder or said, like, Bradley or something. And he gets up and I think we shake hands. And I sit down with him, and I was expecting that uncomfortable, whatever. And we just started talking. Like, we just started talking, and he was able to tell me that he has a child. So straight away, and it wasn't necessarily, they didn't have the best kind of co-parenting relationship or whatever. And he comforted me. To me, once I know you're in a situation, you kind of know,
dynamics.
Like, and he was respectfully saying, look, I'm not trying to do this, I'm not trying to do that. Like, I respect the situation. Man comfort, not that it was his job to comfort me, but he made me feel at ease. And from there, grew and grew and grew. They got engaged, they got married. I saw the love he had for my son. I saw the love my son has for him. And that to me is it's beautiful to see. I've always said like there can't be too many people loving your child. But some men are so resistant to that. Like when they've seen certain posts, I've had certain men reach out to me and say, you know what, I love that, yeah. I could never do that. I could never have another man around my child. And I'm like,
Toxic masculinity, I think.
But do you think it's because they don't want too many people loving their child, or if it's more of just their own, like, you know, their own personal ego and
insecurity, man.
insecurities, and maybe they actually have some, like, they might have good reasons as to why they may not want a particular person. Because you know how you said there's a time boundary, and you said it doesn't really matter, and you said no, it doesn't matter. In my head, because I'm not in that situation, I'm still leaning towards, well, actually, I feel like there should be a bit of a time period. But this is me talking from not the experience. In my head, I'm like, well, if you did bring someone over, like, to your house where my child is there after a week or 2 weeks of dating, in my head, I'm like, I don't think, I'm lying to myself if I say I will be comfortable with that. But that's because I'm not in that situation. That's just I'm just projecting what I think doesn't sound right. But actually, you're saying, if the guy's great, 2 weeks, it doesn't matter.
So let me throw a question at you. Yeah? Like, you're married, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How long was you, like, until you got engaged? How long was you together before you got engaged?
7 years.
7 years. Some people get engaged after a year. Some people get engaged after 6 months, and that lasts. Yeah. But we might look at that and say, "Oh, that's a bit quick." Like, what's her name? Maya Jama.
Yes. Yeah. The basketball.
7
player.
months and she's engaged, right? And people look at that and they say, "Nah, that
can't be real or whatever."
That can't be real.
No, it can happen, man.
It can happen.
Especially the older you get as well. Yeah.
I said, yeah, within their 7 months, they may have had more life experiences than someone that's been together for 5 years.
100%.
They may have done so much. So when we look at a time frame, yeah, how I look at it is, I could be with someone for a year. Like, I was with someone for a year. I don't want to touch on her too much, yeah, because she cussed me out on social media on a previous podcast I went for, yeah. So
disclaimer.
But I was with someone for like, it took us a year before I let them meet my child, and for me to meet their child, because I actually said, I don't want us to do that. Let's focus on us. But yeah, took a year. They met my child. I'm not with her now. Do you know what I mean? Like, my child's mum scenario, like within 2 months, 3 months, he's met my son. They're married now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've been together, 6 years? Like, it depends. If in that 3 months you're seeing that person every day, yeah, and you feel, you know what, I know this person well enough, or you've been with someone for 12 months and you see them once a week. Like, it's hard to really say, like, what's an appropriate...
No one situation is the same.